like to first say that you're not going to see glitz here, so please don't expect it. I'm not an entertainer nor an actor. I've created this video as a tool designed to educate people about a business concept that works, for people who are willing to put 100% of themselves into something. See, it takes 200% to be successful in business. 100% must come from you. 100% must come from the business vehicle that you've chosen. Business vehicle meaning how you earn your living, how you support your family. I've seen people who relentlessly pour 100% of themselves into a business vehicle, profession, or job, but that vehicle doesn't have the capability to give back 100%. The mechanics of wealth are just not there. But no one has ever fully explained to you why it doesn't work and why it's a waste of your valuable time if your goal is financial success. This video is for the person who is willing to put in their 100%. They're only lacking the right business vehicle, the explanation of why it's right, and the evidence that it does in fact work. Even though I say you must put in 100%, that doesn't mean that you have to work it full time. I didn't. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your family time, nor does it mean you have to have prior experience. I didn't. What you'll learn right here has allowed me to build a $25 million company. Now, a $25 million company has certainly been done before. However, this was done where no employees were required. No accounts receivable, no accounts payable, no overhead, and very little inventory. Recently, I said those words to a business owner who said back to me, "Sounds too good to be true." My response back to him was, "Is that a good enough reason to stop looking?" He paused for a couple of seconds and he said, "That wouldn't be very smart, would it?" What I suggest you do is not just watch this information, but study it. What I want to do first is create an equal playing field between people who know how to evaluate a business and those who don't. Because me explaining this business wouldn't be very effective until you understand how to place value to a business. The simplest thing for someone to do when they don't understand something is to go, it doesn't work. The way I'll accomplish this equal playing field is to give you 4 main principles to look for in a business. Number 1 is a huge expanding market. If you were the best vinyl record producer in the world, would it matter today? No. It doesn't matter how good you are in an industry that's eroding. Number 2 is a unique and consumable product. I'll cover unique first. If you don't have a unique product, then you compete on price and convenience. Who has the best price? Who's closest to the customer? Yet if you have uniqueness, then people must come to you. Next is consumable. If you have a non-consumable product, you're basically unemployed until your next sell. You want the repeat sales of consumable products. Whether it's every time someone picks up the telephone, connects to the internet, renews a membership, turns on electricity, or gets to the bottom of a box or a bottle, you want those repeating commissions because it can pay you again and again. Number 3 is timing. Primarily here I'm talking about trends in timing. During all cycles of the economy, there are people who are making money and losing money. The makers are the ones in front of large trends. The losers disregard trends. How do you get in front of large trends? You study what creates them. Without any hesitation, in today's society, it's the baby boom generation that creates the largest trends. The baby boomers are a group of babies born between 1946 and 1964. There were 76 million of them born in the United States, 1 billion of them worldwide. Why is this group so talked about? They're 1/3 of the U.S. population and control 65% of all the money. I've likened the magnitude of all those babies to a basketball moving through a garden hose. They reshape every industry they go through. See, if you can predict where this basketball is going down the garden hose, you possess the ability to make fortunes. I want to give you some historical examples of the obvious buying patterns of these boomers. It started with a company called Gerber back in 1940, who were barely known. But by 1955, just 10 years after the boomers were born, they had sold 1.8 billion jars of strained baby food. As the boomers took their first steps, it was Buster Brown and Kenny Shoes. When the boomers went out to play, Mattel and Hasbro got rich providing toys to this young group. In 1957, we built more elementary schools in the U.S. in 1 year just to handle the overflow than we did in any 12-year period before or after. As the boomers went through their teens, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken became billion-dollar companies feeding the boomers. When the boomers moved through their 20s and 30s, which was in the mid-70s, what was the industry to be in? Real estate. Why? Because the boomers had heard from their parents one time too many, as long as you're living under my roof, you'll do as I say. So they wanted their own roof. which created a 15-year real estate boom. And people are still talking today about the great time frame to be in real estate. Then what happened to the real estate market in the late 80s? It began its decline. Why? The basketball had moved through the real estate industry. Another example of this is the U.S. stock market. Several years ago, I heard a stock market analyst speaking on the radio saying that he just couldn't believe the stock market had a 15-year rise. Notice the number 15 years keeps coming up. Anyone with a good understanding of the baby boomers could have seen this coming and profited from the recent stock market activity. Why does this 15-year number keep coming up? Because the baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. And so 18 years separates the front edge from the back edge. A very important number for you. If you look for trends on the front side of the basketball, you get the full 18 years for your products to be popular. That's the reason you study the nose of the basketball. So your business, no matter what your business is to be looking at what industries are expanding or which industries are about to expand. You shouldn't care how long you've been doing something or how long you've been in school to learn something. Are you in front of trends or not? Don't have a loyalty to something just because you've been educated in it or doing it for a long time. So looking at the current trends, we basically got 1 billion people who are in their 50s and 60s. Since that's the case, what business do you want to be in? Let's look at some obvious current and future trends. Health and looking younger are going to be tremendous trends. The boomers do not like what aging is doing to them. So products that fend off aging as well as vanity issues will continue to boom. Businesses that focus on retirement issues will do very well. The crux of it will start with the boomers having enough money to retire. Businesses that offer ways to make money will obviously flourish. Legal matters such as wills and estate planning will become large trends. Efficiencies will also grow. The television was too far away from the couch for the boomers, so they invented the remote control device. Today, they have their entire library of books and music in their cell phones. The boomers have always been enamored with technologies that make life easier. These technologies will actually create industries. For example, the computer created the need for antivirus software. The internet has created a need for identity theft protection and firewalls. But there will be many additional industries created by the computer and internet technologies. It is the computer plus the internet that made the iPod, iPad, and iPhone possible. As a side note, the baby boomers are not the only trendsetters. They are just the largest and have most of the money. As the world becomes one, the international market will play a big role, as well as the group born just after the baby boomers that are known as Generation X. But remember, the boomers control 65% of all the money. So when a bright Generation X person creates a great new product or service, they must make it simple enough that a baby boomer can understand it. Otherwise, that product will not reach mass acceptance. Those are some of the big trends. So if you want to be brilliantly compensated, you must focus on industries and companies that have positioned themselves in front of these trends. All right, let's move forward.